f is continuous at a point x is equals to alpha is simply nothing but limit value of the function at alpha and functional value f of alpha both should be equal. Limit x tends to alpha, f of x is equals to f of alpha. If it happens, then we say that f is continuous at x is equals to alpha. As we discussed in the previous class, for suppose if limit x tends to alpha minus f of x is equals to f of alpha, that in the sense left limit is equals to functional value, we say it as left continuous, and right limit is equals to functional value, then we say it as right continuous if both the limits, left limit and right limit, is equals to the functional value, then only we say the function is continuous. See, all these things we discussed in the last class. And now the function is continuous in the interval a comma b. So see, if f is continuous in the interval a comma b, then f must be continuous in three different situations. Among those, the first one is f is right continuous at x is equals to a. Why? Because see, the interval is from a to b. That means we don't have values in the interval left side of a. Only we have values in the right side of a. So f is right continuous at x is equals to a. As well, in between the values a and b, the function is continuous for every value. F is continuous for every x belongs to the closed interval ab. And the third thing is f is left continuous at x is equals to b. Just have a look. Just I am indicating. Okay. Instead of writing continuous every time, I am just using this notation. Okay. Right. See, f is continuous in the interval ab. The interval is from a to b. So at a, it is enough that it should be right continuous. At b, it is enough that it is left continuous. And in between ab, for all the points in between ab, the function should be continuous. So if these three happen, then we conclude that f is continuous in the interval ab. Continuity at a point, and it is continuity in the closed interval. Okay. Whereas for suppose f is continuous in closed interval a to open interval b, then what you say? Since f is continuous in open interval a to closed interval closed interval a to open interval b, then at a it should be right continuous. In between ab it should be continuous. At b, no need to check because the point b is not included in the interval, right? Okay. Whereas for suppose if you are discussing continuity in the interval ab, open interval ab, then just don't think about the continuity at a and b. You just concentrate the points in between ab, and for all those points the function should be continuous. Okay. So what I am saying is continuity at a point is different from continuity in the interval. Continuity in the interval explains you. Continuity in the interval means it explains you, it describes the continuity of the function at every point in the interval and at the boundaries of the interval, like a and b. At a it should be right continuous and at b it is left continuous. You just have a look. Continuity at the point, continuity in the interval. For suppose if I say f is continuous over real numbers. If I say f is continuous over real numbers, f is continuous for all x belongs to r. For all x belongs to r in the sense, for every real value of x the function is continuous. When you sketch the graph of the function in the real plane, in the graph sheet, the function is continuous without any breaks, then those functions are usually mentioned as continuous over real numbers. Okay. So continuity at a point, continuity in the interval closed interval ab, continuity in the open interval ab, continuity over real numbers. You just have a look. I will give you some simple problems again. So just have a look. We have a problem on the board related to the continuity. See, initially I am just giving you the basic definition of continuity and some problems related to the continuity. And there are many properties and many observations related to the continuity of a function. And all these things we will discuss in the next classes. Okay. First of all, you need to know about the continuity in a simple manner. That's why I am discussing some problems and the basic definitions. See, we need to calculate the values of a and b. Okay, a and b we need to find. F of x is given, and the definition of f of x is different in different regions. If that x, the input of the function, is in between 0 and pi by 4, this is the definition. Whereas if our input, just a minute, okay, yeah, this is simply pi by 4 less than x less than or equals to pi by 2, right? If our input x is in between pi by 4 and pi by 2, we need to use this 2x cot x plus b as the definition of the function. Whereas if x is in between pi by 2 to pi, a cos 2x minus b sin x is the definition of the function. And now it is given that f is continuous in the interval 0 to pi. Since f is continuous in the interval 0 to pi, in the sense f is continuous for all x belongs to 0 to pi. F is continuous for all x belongs to 0 to pi. In particular, when you observe the definition of the function, see, at pi by 4 and at pi by 2, there are different definitions for the function. You just look at pi by 2, see, x less than pi by 2, we need to use this definition. X greater than pi by 2, we need to use this definition. As well, at pi by 4, left side of pi by 4, we have one definition, whereas right side of pi by 4, we have another definition. So, there is some confusion. We have a doubt at those points whether the function is continuous or not. But it is given that it is continuous. So, we need to apply our continuity conditions and we need to check the continuity at those points. That's enough. See, in all other points, no need to check. Why? Because at all other points, the function have same decision. For example, you just look there, pi by 4 is 45 degrees, pi by 2 is 90 degrees. It is clear, right? So, in between 45 degrees and 90 degrees, there is 60 degrees value. So, at 60 degrees, right and left, the definition is same. So, no need to discuss the continuity because the definition is same. So, for sure the function will be continuous. But at pi by 4, left and right, the function definition is different. At pi by 2, left and right, the function definition is different. So, at pi by 4 and pi by 2, we need to check, and at all other points, without checking, directly we will announce that the function is continuous. See, now, here it is continuous in the interval 0 to pi. That in turn means that it is continuous x is equals to pi by 4 and pi by 2 also. Now, one by one we need to check. First of all, check at pi by 4. At x is equals to pi by 4. At x is equals to pi by 4, since the function is continuous, left limit is equals to right limit is equals to f of pi by 4. This is the functional value. What is the left limit? Left limit is simply nothing but limit x tends to pi by 4 minus limit x tends to pi by 4 minus f of x is equals to, right limit is simply limit x tends to pi by 4 plus f of x is equals to f of pi by 4, and that implies limit x tends to pi by 4 minus, what is that f of x? X tends to pi by 4 minus, that means x less than pi by 4. So for x less than pi by 4, we need to use this particular definition. What is that? X plus a root 2 sin x. X plus a root 2 sin x. That is equals to limit x tends to pi by 4 plus, pi by 4 plus in the sense greater than pi by 4. So for x greater than pi by 4, use this second definition. What it is? 2x cot x plus b is equals to f of pi by 4. Okay. Now just look there. Yeah. Directly you need to replace x with pi by 4. No problem here. If you replace x with pi by 4, what will happen? If you replace x with pi by 4, x means pi by 4 plus a root 2 into sin x, sin pi by 4. Sin pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. This is equals to 2 into x is again pi by 4 into cot pi by 4 plus b is equals to f of pi by 4. See, where is the equality for pi by 4 and x? See, here we have the equality for pi by 4 and x. So f of pi by 4 means x is pi by 4. So at x is equals to pi by 4, use this definition. This definition is simply nothing but again this x plus a root 2 sin x. Okay, you just write if you need. Again the same thing, pi by 4 plus a root 2 into sin pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. At the end you just try to simplify. Root 2 and root 2 will get cancelled. And here what you say about cot pi by 4? Cot pi by 4 is 1, right? So this implies pi by 4 plus a is equals to 2 into pi by 4 is pi by 2 and cot pi by 4 is 1, pi by 2 plus b. So pi by 4 plus a is equals to pi by 2 plus b. So you just establish a relation between a and b. So that implies a minus b is equals to pi by 2 minus pi by 4 is pi by 4. So at the end we have a relation, okay? A minus b is equals to pi by 4. You just note it. Our target is to find a and b if f is continuous in the interval 0 to pi. Since f is continuous in the interval 0 to pi, so from the definition we are decide to check the continuity at the points pi by 4 and pi by 2. At pi by 4 the function is continuous. So left limit, right limit to the function value are same. So left limit, right limit and function value, when you equalize those three, you will get a relation on AB that a minus b is equals to pi by 4. Our target is to find a and b. Now we have one relation if you check the continuity at pi by 4. Now check the continuity at pi by 2 and get another relation on AB. By combining those two relations, we need to get the values of a and b separately. Have a look and I will check the continuity at pi by 2. So since f is continuous, x is equals to pi by 4, we have a minus b is equals to pi by 4. Now we need to check continuity at x is equals to pi by 2. Since f is continuous at x is equals to pi by 2, how to check it? Since it is continuous at x is equals to pi by 2, again at this point pi by 2, left hand limit is equals to right hand limit is equals to f of pi by 2. Left hand limit at pi by 2. See, left hand limit at pi by 2 in the sense limit extends to pi by 2 minus f of x is equals to limit extends to pi by 2 plus f of x is equals to f of pi by 2. Now x tends to pi by 2 minus. X tends to pi by 2 minus in the sense x is less than pi by 2. Since x is less than pi by 2, use the first definition. Now this is limit x tends to pi by 2, 2x cot x plus b is equals to limit x tends to pi by 2 plus f of x. Pi by 2 plus in the sense this definition you need to use. Limit x tends to pi by 2 plus. So we are using that. So limit x tends to pi by 2, a cos 2x minus b sin x. So just replace x with pi by 2. 2 into pi by 2 into cot pi by 2 plus b is equals to a cos 2 into pi by 2 minus b sin pi by 2. What you say about cot pi by 2 value? Okay, cot pi by 2 is 0, right? Tan 90 is infinity, cot pi by 2 is 0, this value is 0. So 0 plus b is equals to 2 into 2 get cancelled, cos pi. Cos 180 degrees is how much? Cos 180 degrees is minus 1. So minus a minus sin 90, sin pi by 2. Sin pi by 2 is 1. Okay, so minus b. So at the end we have that 2b is equals to minus a as this particular relation. So if f is continuous, x is equals to pi by 4, by equalizing left and right limits we have a minus b is equals to pi by 4. and since f is continuous, x is equals to pi by 2, by taking this left and right limits as equal, we are getting 2b is equals to minus a. Now combining these two, we need to get the values of a and b separately. Our target is to find a and b, right? So now we have 2b is equals to minus a. So how to find a and b? 2b is equals to minus a. Use these two relations, right? Replace a with minus 2b. Then replace a with minus 2b. Minus 2b minus b is equals to pi by 4. Minus 3b is equals to pi by 4. And the value of b is minus pi by 12. So b value is minus pi by 12. Since b value is minus pi by 12, and what to say about a value? A is equals to minus 2b, right? Minus will get cancelled and pi by 12 into 2 means pi by 6 is a value. So at the end, value of a is pi by 6 and value of b is minus pi by 12. Just have a look. So next problem. Find values of p and q for which the function is continuous for all x belongs to R, and this is the definition of the function. Okay, and that particular function is defined in such a way that this is sine of p plus 1x plus sin x by x if x less than 0, and q if x is equals to 0, and root of x plus x square minus root x by x power 3 by 2 if x greater than 0. So if x less than 0, the definition is different. If x is equals to 0, the definition is different. If x is greater than 0, the definition is different, and this f of x has three definitions depending on x less than 0 is equals to 0 and greater than 0. Right? And this is continuous for all x belongs to R. Since it is continuous for all x belongs to R, that in the sense in particular it is continuous at x is equals to 0 also. Since it is continuous x is equals to 0, left limit and right limit, okay, limit x tends to 0 minus f of x is equals to limit x tends to 0 plus f of x is equals to f of 0. Left limit at 0, right limit at 0 and functional value at 0, all these three are equal because the function is continuous at x is equals to 0. See what you say about the left limit, as limit x tends to 0 minus f of x value is what? See, x tends to 0 minus in the sense x less than 0, so think about this sine of p plus 1x plus sin x by x. What you say about its limit value? Yeah, I am trying to write directly, right? So we are perfect at limits, so directly use standard limit here. Sin x by x, the value is 1. Sin of p plus 1x by x, so like sin kx by x, it is k, like p plus 1. So sin of p plus 1x by x is p plus 1, sin x by x is 1. So its limit value as extending to 0 is p plus 1 plus 1. That is equals to limit x tends to 0 plus f of x, right limit. So we need to apply limit for this. So how to find out the limit? You just try to simplify it. You just do one thing. As x is tending to 0, right? Yeah. What we need to do? So for this we need to calculate limit x tends to 0 minus f of x. We need to do some rationalization process and something, right? Okay, as we know, it is given that it is continuous for all x belongs to R. I am erasing this for the space concern. See here I am giving you the discussion of right limit. Limit x tends to 0 minus f of x. Limit x tends to 0 plus, right? Limit x tends to 0 plus f of x is simply nothing but limit x tends to 0, and as x is greater than 0, the function definition is this. Use it. Root of x plus x square minus root x divided by x power 3 by 2. Now try to simplify it. Limit x tends to 0, root of x plus x square. You just pick out x, root x, then you will get with root of 1 plus x minus root x. divided by x power 3 by 2 is simply x root x. Just have a look how we are rewriting. Okay, limit x tends to 0, you just pick out root x out, then you left with root of 1 plus x minus 1 divided by x root x. So you just cancel out this root x. Now what we have? Root 1 plus x minus 1 by x. You just go with the rationalization. When you rationalize it, rationalization technique, that in the sense you need to multiply root 1 plus x plus 1 by numerator and denominator, then you left with x by x into root 1 plus x plus 1. X and x get cancelled. When you replace x with 0, you will get 1 by 2 as your right limit value. Since we are perfect at limits, just I am giving you the discussion aside. See, this right limit value is 1 by 2. This left limit value is p plus 1 plus 1. Whereas f of 0. What is f of 0? Functional value of f of x and x is equals to 0 is q. So directly this is q. So p plus 2 is equals to 1 by 2 is equals to q. So this equality between these three numbers directly gives us that q is 1 by 2. So q value is final. Then p plus 2 is 1 by 2. Find p. P is equals to 1 by 2 minus 2 and you will get the value of p. So finding p and q with this particular function as it is continuous for all x belongs to R is in this way. Just have a look. Okay. The definition of the function is different in different regions depending on x along with 0. And as they said it is continuous for all x belongs to R, this is continuous in particular at x is equals to 0. So at x is equals to 0, left limit, right limit and the functional value, all these three are equal. Just equalize it and get the value of q as 1 by 2 and the value of p as 1 by 2 minus 2. That's it. Have a look.